Hi, my name is Thomas, and this is my Unit 4 project. I used information from tradingeconomics.com, specifically the economic indicators, to build what I think is a current potential output graph using the Keynesian cross model. I have the current unemployment rate, real GDP growth rate, and inflation rate from 2017 and 2018 as points of reference. I also gathered price level data and real GDP data to use as monikers of our current economy. Using the data I gathered, I constructed the investment, government spending, and consumption function graphs as well. So here I have short run aggregate supply, long run aggregate supply, and an aggregate demand curve. I also inputted price levels from October 2018 and January 2018 just to see a raise in price level. So it is what I believe to be an expansionary gap, and the red dot is our actual output currently. This is my investment curve, my government spending curve, and my consumption graph. The current event that I instituted was a $10 billion tax cut. Money is entering the circular flow and allows for more investment spending, less government spending, and an increase in disposable income, and therefore consumption from households. Investments will increase because people have more disposable income to invest. Government spending will decrease decrease proportionally because of the lack of tax revenue due to the tax cut. And then overall household income should increase as a result of the increase of the disposable income shown here. The effects of the $10 billion tax cut on my potential output graph indicates a shift of the aggregate demand curve outward, shown here. I have my curve moving this way because of the increase in disposable income and increase in consumption. The price level and the total output rise because the demand rises. However, short-run aggregate supply remains the same. So before I had my expansionary gap right here, and then this is the increase to the expansionary gap afterwards. As you can see, the new projected price level goes up, and so does the real GDP. So I have my actual output before, and then my new actual output, and then my aggregate demand curve moving this way. The MPC of this economy is 0.75, which means that the MPS, or marginal propensity to save, is 0.25. With a tax cut of 10.5 billion, or 10 billion, this will create a positive multiplier. To calculate this, we simply divide the moderate propensity to consume by the moderate propensity to save, which in this case is +3. We then multiply the total change by the tax, which gives us a total change of 30 billion. The tax cut could push up aggregate demand too far and may lead to upward pressure on wages and cause unwanted inflation. A monetary policy that I think would help revert the amount of aggregate demand back to where it was before would be an increase to the interest rate. This would make borrowing more costly and promote saving, but would make sure that inflation didn't stagnate the economy as a whole. By increasing the interest rate, it brings down inflation by reducing the money supply in the market, makes borrowing costlier, makes people not want to spend, also increasing the moderate propensity to save, and promotes saving money by households. This contractionary monetary policy is used to slow economic growth and may increase unemployment. But it absolutely is mandatory to reduce inflation and maintain the spending power of the dollar. The interest rate hike will also reduce investment spending, shown here. It will increase government spending, shown here. And it will decrease the amount of consumption by households, offsetting the increases from the tax cut. Tax cuts tend to make people want to spend more, and raising the interest rate tends to make people want to spend less. So, after everything is said and done, the tax cut comes through, and then they raise the interest rate. This is my graph for the potential output reverting back to where it was before because of the contractionary monetary policy. So my aggregate demand shifts back to the left. The expansionary gap closes back to where it was before. The old projected price level goes back to the reverted price level. And then the actual output before goes back to the new actual output. Thank you so much for listening, and thank you very much.